Hello, all you lovely computer scientists. Today we are going to be explaining and showing off one of the most niche but so useful commands in Python, which will be .count. It is a string manipulation command, and I'm going to show it off. So, when you're working in Python, you might want to create a string and then see how many of certain characters are in that string. Sounds like a very niche scenario, and admittedly it is slightly rare to find an example where you need this, but not impossible. I know I've encountered it. Over the past couple of years I've been doing computer science, I've encountered it about 10 times. Now, 10 times is not a lot. If I had a nickel for every time I encountered it, I'd have 10 nickels. Which is not a lot. But it's weird that happened 10 times. But when I did, first time, I didn't know what to do. I just had a really big for loop. But then I figured out you can just use count. And what it will do is it will return the amount of times your input is inside the string. So as you can see, we put hello world, which contains 3 L's. We put L. If we do O, we'll return 2, because O there and O there. D, 1, because there's 1D. But if we put P, it turns 0, because P is not in this. This can work with numbers. As you can see, we've got 1, 1 in there. Now we've got 3, turns 3. Now I've got 6, turns 6. And it isn't very often useful. But it is often the best use. Placeholder 1L. Enter a string for the input, and we'll just have it be any examples of a double O. So if I put books are good, we have 2 double O's, a double O in book and a double O in good. We can have more than one character inside the count. It's very niche, but it is very nice. We could use a list as an example. We can double up commands. Let's just do random.choice. This, some brackets to make it better. Let's see. Well, let's go with that input so we can just instantly have it happen. 0, so that means it's one of these last 3. 1, that means it's world. 2, that means it's hello. You can see that count is a decently useful command when you need it. And it is one of those commands that you will only need when it's the only option. But out of any of the commands in Python, I'd argue that it's ones like count, which are just really nice to have in your back pocket. You need it, bang, put it down. You don't, oh well. Thank you. Thank you all very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please like, comment and subscribe, and please comment especially because I like learning how you learn and it helps me make better videos which are more educational and more concise. Hello, all you lovely computer scientists. So, 2 days ago, we demonstrated how .count works for string manipulation, and it will return however many times your input exists inside said string. Today we're showing off for lists. It works differently than strings, which is why I'm giving its own separate video, because they work differently enough that I feel like I have to separate them. But it is possible I'll just combine it in the future into a little bit more concise and detailed thing. It works differently because it checks for individual items, not just for your individual input. In Python, you might have a list and you want to check how many times a certain item appears in the list. You can use .count like we demonstrated 2 days ago. So, have our .count. Make our list. Right, got our list. Hello world. Now, you cannot check for individual values inside, such as L. We get 0. Why? Because L is not an individual item. For strings, count works for characters. It just checks character by character by character, or whatever value input. But for lists, it checks items, item by item by item. If it matches perfectly to your input. If I have double L, turn 0. It's got to match perfectly. You don't need to define define the list just for the .count. You can have a variable list. Let's do same list. Forgot to demonstrate it was just a hello, so that's what we demonstrated with this list. Hello, and it returns 1 because we've got 1 hello in there. We put a second hello, 2. We put a third hello, 3. You cannot do for individual items in a big list, but you can. But this works for 2D arrays too. Just an extra for loop. These for loops. 2 ways to do the for loops too. You can do the len function. And then you can just, or you could just use this, which is extremely similar, except you don't need to index. And it does actually prove very useful for our demonstration, as we can actually show that it does work for list indexing. Right, make sure to add the print statements for the final count. Now let's see. Let's do final count plus equals lists I dot count. We'll count L for this demonstration, and we should get 7 for the first return and 8 for the second return. That's a 1, it's not an L. I forgot something somewhere. I've got the in. Oopsie daisy, happens. 3 for the checking for how many hellos, 7 for the total L's, and then 8 for the total L's plus 1. As you can see, they both work. It is simple as that. There is a few small nuances with 2D arrays, like you need an extra for loop, nested, but nothing worth properly showing off. It's quite simple with 2D arrays extra. Thank you. Thank you all very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And please comment especially because I like learning how you learn, and it helps me make better videos which are more educational and more concise.